السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. ألتقي معكم اليوم في ندوة جديدة وعنوانها A Feminist Critical Reading of فادية فقير's Willow Trees Don't Weep. قراءة نسوية نقدية لرواية فادية فقير اشجار الصفصاف لا تبكي. At the very beginning, I would like to elaborate on the title of this webinar, the significance of the word feminist in particular. In fact, I would like to elaborate on just a little bit. I would like to elaborate on the theoretical framework of feminism. What do we mean by feminism in general? What do we mean by, what is the difference between feminism, feminine, and the female? What do we mean by feminine critique? Other things, other vocabularies, other terms related to the meaning of, or related to the theoretical framework of feminism. In fact, feminism is concerned with marginalization of women in a patriarchal society or patriarchal culture. Now, feminism, it is all about choices, how women are capable of making choice, how women are free to take choices, their choices, how they are free to decide their lives. So feminist critics explain how the subordination of women is reflected or challenged by literary texts. They elaborate, feminist critics, they elaborate on the way women are represented in literature, whether they are represented as a being or a non-being, whether they are represented as the subaltern, or whether they are objectified, whether they are thinkified, whether they are subjected to certain forces, etc. And all the time they focus upon these things. So when we talk about feminism, we are highlighting certain important vocabularies and certain important terms, like, for example, the patriarchal society, like, for example, the self and the other, who is the self and the other in the power relation between the genders. We are tackling the difference between sex and gender. We are talking about the identity of women in society, how she has the ability to be a recognized individual, or whether she is going to be silenced. So let us now elaborate on the difference between the main three terms, which are feminism, feminine, and female. In fact, Ellen Showalter's, she is the one who is responsible for identifying these three terms, and these three terms are related to three important phases of women. Now, feminine, when we talk about feminine, it means what? It means that we are talking about women writers who are imitating men in their writing. So feminine, it is about literary texts that are written by women, and these women are trying to imitate the style of man in their writing. When we go to feminist, this term is about women who advocate minority rights and they protested all the time. They try to talk about women. They are trying to elaborate on the rights of women. They are trying to give voice writings about female. Now, the focus in female literature, the focus is on women's text as opposed to men text. It means what? It means how women are capable of producing text in which they try to be creative, innovative in style, in technique, in the use of language, in the use of vocabulary, in the use of this grammatical structure, in the use of the experimental technique. So these are three phases related to the development of women literature in general. So at the very beginning, we have feminine, then we have feminist, then we have the female. Another important term related to the title of the whole webinar, it is feminine critique, or in another word in English, it is women's writing. Now, this term is coined by the French feminist and literary theorist, of course, Hélène Cixous. Now, Hélène Cixous, she has a very famous essay which is written in 1975. Now, the essay is entitled "The Laugh of the Medusa." Here, Hélène Cixous, in this essay, she tries to present a kind of literary text in which women use their own language, their own vocabulary. If I want to talk about this text, the text that I'm going to discuss today, it is can be categorized under the umbrella of feminine critique. Why feminine critique? Because in this text, Fadie Faqir, she uses certain vocabularies, certain terms which are related to women consciousness. So she tries to elaborate on the significance of sexism of language. She tries, implicitly, she tries to elaborate on the significance of women individuality within society. She tries to show that women all the time are engaged in a process of being and becoming. Okay. Now, who is Fadie Faqir? Fadie Faqir, as you see, this is her photograph. This is Fadie Faqir. And she was born in 1956. She is a Jordanian British academic author. She completed her BA in English literature in Jordan and traveled to Britain in 1984 and got her MA in creative writing at the University of Lancaster. She was awarded a PhD in creative and critical writing by the University of East Anglia in 1990. Faqir is a celebrated writer of fiction. In fact, all the time she tries to elaborate on prominent voices in contemporary post-colonial studies that convey the suffering of Eastern women against the patriarchal society. All the time she tries to give voice to the subaltern. She tries to show the Orient culture. She tries in particular to focus upon the Jordanian culture. She tries to focus upon the Jordanian society. To summarize the whole idea and to say it in Arabic, I prefer to say it in Arabic, that Fadie Faqir معنية بإظهار صورة المرأة في تجلياتها المقموعة عندما تتجاوز الحدود المفروضة عليها في مجتمعها الشرقي. So here, the Jordanian society in this novel, as well as in other novels written by Fadie Faqir, the Jordanian society is a force. Now, women, and it is not only a force, it is an Oriental patriarchal force. So here we can say that we have a kind of double restraint, a kind of double obstacle. She is completely tied because of two forces, because of the Oriental society and because of the patriarchal society. Now, in such kind of society, women all the time are dominated by the power of men, of course. Okay, another important thing related to Fadie Faqir is that she writes in English. All her novels are written in English. Now, what is the significance of writing in English? Sometimes when we read an Arab novelist write in English, we assume that he tries to write back the colonizer. Lakin, in the case of Fadie Faqir, no, she does not try to write back the colonizer. On the contrary, she is trying to talk about the issues of Arab women by means of using the English language. Why? Because maybe in her novels she tackles many taboo issues. Because she tackles many taboo issues, she doesn't want to find herself in a jail. She does not want the state to impose limits upon her writings. So she believes that no one is going to understand the English language, so it is better to write in English. And if people want to translate her novels, maybe she has the ability to defend herself and to say, okay, this is a translation, this is not the original text. So as if she tries to protect herself at the first level, and at the second level she tries to make the voice of Jordanian women heard by others. Okay, maybe this is another reason behind using the English language. Okay, another important thing related to her novels. Of course, she has more than one novel. She has Pillars of Salt. She has My Name is Selma. She has also a book which is edited by her, and the book is entitled In the House of Silence. The novel that we are going to discuss today is entitled Willow Trees Don't Weep. Willow Trees Don't Weep. Now, what is the significance of this tree in particular? In fact, this tree stands for women in general. Why women in general? Because this particular tree has strong roots, and because it has strong roots, it has the ability. This tree, it has the ability to protect itself and to provide soil for with many materials. So this is the significance of this title. Now, this particular tree stands for women. This particular tree stands for women, as if she is trying to address women, and as if she is trying to heal their roots, as if she is trying to say, I am an eyewitness to your issues, and I am an eyewitness to your problems, and I am going to be responsible for making others hear your voice. So don't cry, don't be sad, don't be upset. Try to show yourself. Try to, as if she is trying to say, I am going to give voice to the subaltern. Now, the main character in this novel is Najwa. Najwa and her mother and her grandmother, these three women, they live in Jordan, and these three women, in fact, in particular, Najwa and her mother, they are suffering from a very important thing, and the whole conflict in the novel is based upon this force. What is this force? It is the absence of the father figure in an Oriental patriarchal society. Now, what do I mean by patriarchal society? What do I mean by patriarchal ideology? In fact, patriarchal ideology exaggerates biological differences between men and women. So making certain that men always have the dominant or the masculine roles, and women always have the subordinate or the inferior, and all the time, because of biological differences, man is superior to women. So this is the way patriarchal society all the time tries to impose certain limits upon women abilities. Now, as we said, that the most important force in this novel is the absence of the father figure. Here we have certain quotations that are said by ندوة. ندوة here, she is trying along the novel to look for part of her identity. Now, part of her identity, this missed part of her identity, is related to the absence of the father figure. Her father left her when she was only 3 years old, and he decided to join Mujahideen, and he becomes one of the most important members of Al-Qaeda. So because of this, because of his sudden decision, because of his absence, we are going to see the way his absence affects the being and the identity of the mother and her daughter. The mother is going to be completely secular woman, and she is going to abandon everything related to Islam. She is going to remove her veil. She is going to prevent her daughter from going with her friends to the mosque, or from listening to Quran, or she is going to refuse to fast during Ramadan. So all the time she tries to behave in such a superior way. She does not accept, or maybe as if she is a traumatized woman, she believes that Islam is responsible for taking her husband from her. And all the time she is asking herself the reason behind her sudden trouble of her husband, the sudden trouble of her husband. Now, what about the daughter? If we go to the quotation here, it is said by Najwa herself. She says, "I knew I was different. I was not allowed to cover my hair, wear a long school uniform or trousers, recite the Quran, participate in Ramadan procession, or wear prayer clothes and go to mosque in evening with other children. Who cared Latiners? I would stand by the gate listening to them, sing Welcome Ramadan. The house was secular, and it took me years to understand the meaning of the word. I stood out as if I had a birth defect, with unruly hair, Western clothes, and uncovered leg. Once, schoolmate gave me a silver Allah pendant of my birthday, and my mother confiscated it and locked herself for hours in the guest reception room. No religious words, deeds, text, symbol, jewelry, or dress in this house." So here, what do we have? What kind of identity? She lives in an Oriental society, and this Oriental society is a patriarchal society. However, she is living in between this society. Same time, she tries, in fact, her mother tries to reject. So as if she is standing between the Islamic identity, or the Islamic personality of her father and her grandmother, of course, and the secular identity of her mother. She stands in between. She feels that she is part of this society, and at the same time she is an outsider. She is fluctuating in the third space. That's why she decides that when she is going to after her mother's death, she decides that it is better for her to look for her father. Now, what is the reason for looking for her absent father? As if she wants to restore the absent part of her roots, the absent part of her personality. That's why she wants to look for her father. What she suffers because of the absence of her father. She struggles against many things. As a case in point, she marriage was something that is difficult with the force of the absent father. Here there as a quotation, our religious neighbor told my grandmother the whole story. His family married him off to a daughter of a Syrian merchant. ندوة is not marriage material, his father said, because rumors has it her father is a drug baron somewhere in the borders of China, also brought up in a house without men. She would not know how to show my son respect. And although my mother didn't allow me to wear veil like other women of neighborhood, figure-hugging clothes were also banned with an absent father. People might think you are unharmed. Okay, now here what do we have? Here we have, as I've said, that Najwa's identity has been shaped by mixed cultures. Secular mother, a Muslim wise grandmother, and a Jordanian patriarchal society that holds a house without a man is a house without honor. I think to a certain extent that the novelist is exaggerating the whole matter, but in fact, we are in front of a literary text, so we have to be objective in our criticism. Like this is, I'm trying to show you her perspective, the novelist perspective. She is saying that the Jordanian society, according to the Jordanian society, a house without a man is a house without an honor. So because of this, she is not, she will never be asked for her hand in marriage. Why? Because she does not have father. She does not have father, and she used to live with her mother and with her daughter, with her grandmother. In other words, no one is trying to dominate her, and when there is no one to dominate her, I mean a man, it means that she has no ethics, she has no religion, she does not know how to deal with the father figure or the husband, she does not know how to respect a man because she is the product of a woman. So this is among the most important forces that Najwa suffered from. However, she tries all the time to break the taboos, the social taboos. For example, once upon a time, after her mother's death, she decides that she has to look for her father. And she knows that her father is one of the most important members of the Mujahideen in Afghanistan. So she decides that maybe, and he is a famous figure among this group. So she decides that if she wants to look for her father, she can go to the internet cafe. Now, the internet cafe, maybe during the time when Faqir wrote this novel and published it, internet cafe was confined to men only. It is a place that is to where only men can go. So she decides that she can go there and she can break the taboo and she can sit there. Though there is no women in the internet cafe, she can look for her father, and she knows very well that if she is going there, her reputation is going to be damaged, and many men is going to accuse her of looking for something sexual through the internet. Luckily, she decides that she can go there even if people are going to talk about her. Luckily, she decides it's better for her to go there. Okay, this is one of the most important taboos that she decides to break. Another important taboo that she decides to avoid, or she decides to transcend, is that once upon a time she decides to go to the identity and passport service. And when a woman in a Jordanian society go there by herself, she is going to be accused of her reputation. She is going to be accused that she is not a good woman. She wants to do something forbidden. She wants to travel to somewhere else to work maybe in adultery. So she knows very well that people are going to accuse her of many things. Like she decides that she wants to look for her father and she wants to look for her roots. So if she wants to travel, she has to have a passport. And this passport is going to be her gate to the discovery of herself, of her identity, of the part of herself that she is longing for. We have a quotation here. Not many women come here all like that to get their passport issued. My grandmother had told me to keep quiet about my father. If they find out that you intend to travel to Pakistan, you will be in trouble. Okay. Here we have the driver of the taxi. He asks her, "Why are you here alone?" She answers him, "I have no male relatives." He seized me up. "I don't believe you. Did you grow out of a tree? My father is away and my mother is dead and my grandmother is too old to leave the house. Are you married? If you are, I need your husband's permission." "No, I am not married." I wrung my hands. "Go over there to write a statement believing that you are single." Here, this quotation is not said by the driver of the taxi. It is said by the officer in the passport service. So she has to write a certificate that she is not married woman. Another important thing in this novel, which Faqir tries to highlight, is sexual violence against women. She tries to, Faqir herself, she tries to break the taboo and she tries to talk about the sexual violence against women. Here, maybe she tries to come across a very important term related to feminism, that is women as a sexual object. The way women is treated as a sexual object. Men do not try to discover her mentality. They do not try to discover her reason, her passion, her soul, the beauty inside her. No, they try to look at her body and treat it as a sexual object. So all the time, she is insulted because of this. She is insulted because of her body. Okay. Another important thing in the novel, in fact, she is insulted sexually, not only inside Jordan, but even outside Jordan. Now, the reason behind treating her as a sexual object outside Jordan is different from the reason she is treated as a sexual object inside Jordan. Outside Jordan, she is raped to a certain extent because she is the daughter of a terrorist. Now, when she is going, I know she is going to make a forbidden love affair with someone, and she thinks that he loves her. But when he takes her to the station and he to say goodbye to her, she is shocked by his behavior. She is shocked by the way he tries to say goodbye. He does not try to hug her. He does not try to kiss her. He does not try to show any emotional response. In fact, he was too cold. That's why she is shocked by his response, and she feels that she is sexually assaulted by this man. Okay. Now, the conclusion of this is that Fadiyya in this novel, she tries to highlight the way women endure all consequences of an absence of a male figure in a patriarchal society. Since this community requires his presence as an important figure to guard and protect his family. Discrimination towards women happens to Najwa because she is humiliated by men and society. In addition, she is unable to access public facility as men. Najwa had the physical, verbal, and psychological violence derived by men in a patriarchal society. Faqir's novel contains feminist values since there are some efforts conducted by Najwa that she wants an acceptance from men in her environment, also get her right and place in a patriarchal society. All what she wants is that her non-being. She wants to find herself. She wants to find her identity. And when she decides to look for her father, I know she does not know him. She does not even love him. Like her father is part of her personality, is part of her roots. He is part of her identity. So that's why she wants to complete what she lacks. She is the product of social construction. So because she is the product of social construction, she wants to complete what she lacks. She wants to have a father, and she knows very well, yani, if her father is already dead, this is going to be something completely different. Like, she knows that her father is there, and she knows that her father, he has his own life, his own new life, and she does not know when she decides to travel whether her father is going to accept her or to refuse her. Like, at the end, she decides that she has to travel to regain what she has lost because of many forces. When she returns from her request, she is going to visit the grave of her mother, and she is going to remove the dust from the grave of her mother. When she removes the dust from the grave of her mother, as if she is trying to remove all the bad memories, all the sad memories, all the bad experience, all the bad perspectives, all the based her in her life. She wants to start a new life, and she uses water as if she wants to purgate her soul. So this is a kind of catharsis. She wants to start or to have a new beginning. Thank you very much for your listening, and I hope that all of you have enjoyed my presentation. شكرا أستاذ عباس. I think Ms. Intisar Rashid, she has a question. And Dr. Arwa also has a question.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام. أهلا دكتورة.
Thank you, Doctor, for the valuable information you've mentioned in your presentation. It's such an interesting topic. Actually, I have a couple of questions. First of all, you elaborated on the difference between female, feminine, and feminism. So what do you consider the works written by male writers defending the rights of females?
This is let me answer your questions one by one. According to the feminist discourse, It is a kind of hypocrisy. They are trying to flatter them. They are not honest. According
All
to
of them?
According
all
to
of
them,
them?
yeah, all of them. Yeah, they believe they do not need their voice. They have the ability to defend themselves. That's why these phases, El Sholter mentioned these three phases. And she says that some writers try to imitate men, and others try to establish a new kind of writing, and others try to advocate the voices and the rights of women. So they believe. Once upon a time, I discussed one of the most important outstanding figures who defend feminism, who is one of the most important figures in the field of feminism. I asked her, for example, about Nizar Qabbani. I told her, what about Nizar Qabbani? What do you think of him? He tries all the time to defend women. He tries all the time to talk about women, about their rights. And she tells me, no, he is flattering women, and he is dealing with women as sexual objects. So this is their point of view. I don't agree with them, by the way.